Good morning, everyone. It's 8:15 and it's time to head off. The keynote's in a little over an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So I mentioned at the end of yesterday's vlog all the stuff that I have to look forward to today. But I also have a whole bunch of stuff I'm bringing today, including some books that I'm giving away and all the stuff I need for my talk. And I'm actually also gonna start bringing more vlog production stuff, including my cinema mount and the Video Mic Pro, which I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago. Now, up until today, I've mostly been using my little lav mic. I think mostly because in loud environments like the exhibition center and stuff, and also while traveling and on the airplane, having the lav close to my mouth has been like super useful to cut out crowds and stuff. I'm like really excited, especially because I'm attending some awesome sessions today. And then in this evening, which I didn't mention, is the Max Bash, which is like a massive party. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty crazy. Today the crowd is a little more congested before the keynote, and it might have something to do with the fact that Quentin Tarantino is one of the main speakers. Oh, it's moving, it's moving. I'm being a little bit cheeky, but I'm sitting like 4 rows from the front in the middle, and this section's actually reserved for financial analysts. But I think if you're wearing a button-up business shirt and you just look intentional and you're carrying suitcases, they just expect you're a financial analyst, so no one said anything. I'm just getting away with it. I've got a great seat though, and you guys are going to get a good sneak peek as to what's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adobe Chief Marketing Officer, Ann Lunas.
I'm lost, I don't even know where my own session is, and it's getting very close to start time. It's okay, it's okay. It starts 20 minutes from now, so I'm on time, I'm early. Turns out everything was delayed by 15 minutes because the keynote went over time. So the room is completely empty, but this is my canvas. We're 10 minutes to go time and I'm ready. You ready? Check this out. I have my microphone. I probably shouldn't do that. And presentation is good to go. Did the test, the sound works. Sweet. You guys are on the daily vlog, say hi! Cool. And I started the daily vlog as a way to invite people into the creative process and the projects that I'm working on, but also the personal stuff in my family life and things like that, and awesome experiences like this and people like you. So thanks for joining me, guys. Whether you like it or not. Okay, so I'm talking to Caitlin, who's a YouTuber who has a growing channel, and you guys came in from Arizona?
Yes, Arizona, yeah.
That's so cool. And I have a goodie bag. This is Telltale fan art. That is amazing.
Thank you.
That is so, oh my goodness. That is so cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
That is amazing.
And I got one of my favorite children's books. I thought your little boy would enjoy it, and I got you some Arizona treats.
Sorry,
and goodies.
I'll go through the rest.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys at the time.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see you at the door.
Say bye.
Bye.
So this is AJ. AJ is the product manager for Animate CC. And he's on Twitter, and he wants to hear your thoughts and feedback. So what's your Twitter account?
At Shukla AJ, SHUKLA-AJ.
Awesome, and I'll put that in the description as well.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but so what can people expect, or what can they look forward to that you can give them a hint about?
Well, so we've had 4 releases this year, right? And we are going to maintain the pace. You've seen the rebrand from Flash Pro to Animate. You're going to see a lot more things, a lot more features. If you're expecting any feature, come and talk to me.
Talk to him about features. You heard it from the man. Like, this guy decides what is in or out of Flash.
now animate. Sorry, old habits die hard.
That's fine.
But he actually was also the one who decided to change the name to Animate, and we were just discussing how how that's worked so well, both for the people building the platform and the people using the tool. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool. I came back to the hotel room to get dressed and sort of recompose myself a bit. It's just been so like full on. But the party's tonight. I just came back to, you know, put on some deodorant and de-sweatify a bit. I think I'm also paying a little bit for being up till like 2:30 in the morning last night. So yeah, I think I'm a bit tired. So I've got a bit of coffee on the pot, which I'll have on the way down. And to be honest, I'll probably go to the party for like a couple of hours. But then tonight I'm gonna come back a little bit earlier probably and do a bit of work, because I need to run through my presentation a bit before tomorrow, and I need to get some email stuff done that's been waiting for me. So yeah, so I do have a bit to do, but that aside, let's go party! I have this cool water fountainy thingy, and I think we're gonna get a bit of a shower show.
Run through.
Go, do it.
Time it. All right.
Run through the
Yes.
Yeah. No, go past the lights so you're right in direct thing of it.
Do it for the internet.
That's it. Make us proud. Ready? 1, 2. Ah, cheeky bastard.
Oh, cupcakes! No.
I don't go away. Put it on the conveyor belt.
Do the conveyor belt thing.
I've been looking at an empty conveyor belt for 15 minutes.
I will box you out.
I will fight to the death. It's okay. Cupcakes for everyone.
Ladies first, man.
There you go. See, chivalry is not dead. Give me my fucking cup. No, Thank you. Thank you.
Enough time to put it on the belt.
Cheers.
Today, like yesterday, was really fun. It was just awesome. Anyways, like I said, I'm back at the hotel and I have a bit of work to do, so I'm going to do it. But like yesterday, I have a goodie bag, which I want to go through. In case you were wondering though, I did get footage of the keynote speakers and Quentin Tarantino and all of that stuff, and footage from the sneaks session, which is like where you sneak preview, sort of taste test some cool features or project ideas that are just sort of works in progress and just essentially, you know, prototypes that may or may not become something. But some of those things are really cool. And yeah, I've decided to put all of them together at the end of this vlog so that we have just the sort of going through the day thing all in the one chunk. And then at the end, people who want to actually, you know, sit through, which is a fair amount of content. There's probably about like at least 15, 20 minutes of video, maybe more, just from those sessions. But I gotta say, that being said, I'm also really glad in hindsight that I bought my mics and cinema mount, because it captured wider shots and all that stuff when I needed to, but the audio in particular. Like, if you haven't noticed, I've had my lav clipped to me through the whole convention because it's so noisy, and in particular in the loud bits, I'll take it in front of my mouth and hold it here so that you can actually hear me clearly. But during the keynotes, having this was like, I was so rapt about that, because in fact, I'll show you a quick comparison right now of the audio from yesterday when it was my phone's audio and the audio today where it was the VideoMic Pro, so you can directly compare how it sounded.
And we've released hundreds of breakthrough innovations and services over the past 5 years.
I know when something needs to sit in the incubator, and the incubator's here. And I never try to take anything out too soon.
Anyway, sorry, I'm only saying all that because I know a bunch of you guys have vlogs or are interested in that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'll link to the stuff in the description. This is the cinema mount. I've covered it in a video before, so I'll also put the video I did where I sort of reviewed it. And then I also did a video where I looked at this. It was the same video where I looked at this, but then there was another video where I used the lav and this fluffy little thing here, which is like another phone microphone. So I'm using my phone. Anyways, I go into detail in those videos, and that's for those videos. This is the goodie bag. I haven't seen anything except for I got a brief look at this. This is awesome. This is by Caitlin, who made this. This is so gorgeous. I'm still working on an area to put the fan art people have given me. So it's gonna go in a special place, but at the moment I sort of have a stack of fan art that hasn't got a home yet, so I need to build the home. What's this? So I don't know any of this other stuff. What's this? The 3 little javelinas. Oh wait, is it javelinas? I have no idea. It's a kid's book. This is so cute. I can read this to MJ. Oh boy. Oh boy, there's some goodies. Enjoy the fruits of desert harvest. Oh, hang on, I think they were from Arizona or something. So, I don't know if these are made there, but maybe these are a delicacy of desert dwellers. It's like cherry Turkish delight. Cool. Thank you so much, Caitlin, and thank you to everyone who's seeing this, who attended my session. It was a really nice, sort of intimate feeling sort of session. Apparently, my session tomorrow is sort of booked out. I don't know if that's true or not, but if so, that's sort of intimidating. So yeah, I should get on to practicing that. Anyways, the end of this video, like I said, it's going to be the keynote. So I'm going to whack these on at the end after here. I really hope you enjoy them. They're so inspiring. The Quentin Tarantino one was really cool, but the others are amazing as well. And the sneak session at the very end as well, just like little sneak previews of up and coming stuff that may or may not turn into anything, but just like they're just like prototypes and ideas that Adobe has played with that are super cool. Anyways, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
How did you get your start?
Wow, well, I got my start making, pieces of clothing on figurines, working with clay, having a father who's an artist, went to design school in London, Central St. Martin's, and came back home with the crazy idea saying I want to build a fashion brand to my mother and sister.
How old were you then?
I was 20.
Okay, so speaking of technology, you created one of the most epic gowns the world has ever seen for the Met Gala this year for Claire Danes. And technology played a very big role in that. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, sure. The theme was fashion and technology. And so, I started searching my brain of things that I've always wanted to do, but I think we have a surprise today.
Oh, you do?
We do.
Nice. Okay.
Right? So you know what? Let's dim the lights.
All right.
So this was the Met Ball gown that I made for Claire Danes. It is. Over there. I knew that you could weave fabric with fiber optics. I had played with that with construction in the past. I'll stand back so my spotlight doesn't take away its glow. It's totally hollow underneath, and the light is traveling. So as different colored lights captures on it, that light gets caught on it and travels. And these are these kind of gracious, creative moments that I get the pleasure and honor to create. Enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's have her take another spin. Okay, Anastasia, do one more spin for us.
Yeah, have a spin.
So please join me in welcoming Lindsay Odario.
Thank you all for coming. I will open with a short video.
And now some new information and disturbing information just into us. The New York Times now says that 4 of its journalists reporting on the conflict in Libya have gone missing.
4 journalists, 2 reporters, and 2 photographers for the New York Times disappeared on Tuesday.
Editors say they have not heard from Anthony Shadid, Stephen Farrell, Tyler Hicks, and Lindsay Addario. 4 New York Times journalists were held captive. They'd been reporting from the eastern city of Ajdabiya. The Times executive editor says the paper has been in contact with the Libyan government, and they were assured that the 4 would be released promptly if they had been captured.
Libyan authorities said the group was captured in eastern Libya last week by forces loyal to Colonel Gaddafi.
So, a lot of people ask me why I decided to become a war photographer, and I just want to start out with my childhood. This is me and my 3 older sisters and my parents in a very 70s style portrait. I, unlike Zach, was not born in 1980. And the best preparation, I think, for being a war photographer is having 3 older sisters who beat me up every day of my life. I was able to get into people's homes and meet women at home and get into the hospitals. This is a women's hospital under the Taliban. There was no medicine. Most of the doctors had fled. And this is a woman in labor under the Taliban. This is what it looks like to look out from underneath a burqa. I've been working in Afghanistan now for 16 years, and I often have to put on a burqa if I'm covering a very dangerous story. After September 11th, I went back to cover the fall of the Taliban for the New York Times. There was no combat then, but I was able to see the first time they played music on the streets of Kabul and people coming out. All forms of entertainment were illegal under the Taliban. In 2003, we were gearing up for the war in Iraq, and I raised my hand and offered to go for the New York Times. There was a proxy war going on. The Kurdish Peshmerga were fighting with American Special Forces against Al-Ansar, which was allied to Al-Qaeda. The fall of Saddam Hussein happened about 6 weeks after I arrived, and there were these incredible scenes of euphoria. People were defacing pictures of Saddam. They were swimming in his palaces. These are all man-made lakes. Saddam had taken all the water from the people of Iraq and made man-made lakes. So for revenge, they went and swam in his palaces. The horrors of the war became unveiled. These are mass graves. Every one of these white sheets is the body of a Shiite who was killed under Saddam Hussein. So these images I shot for Life magazine, a young man who was wounded by an IED and getting care in Balad Hospital. After I shot them, I sent them to Life magazine. They held them for 4 months, and they then sent me an email saying, I don't think we can ever run your pictures of wounded soldiers because my editor thinks they're too harsh for the American people to see. Of course, for me, I was furious and said, how dare you make that decision on behalf of the American people, and how dare you send me to war if you don't have the guts to publish my images. I jumped out, and Gaddafi's guys were on me immediately. They were pulling at my cameras, and very stupidly, I was sort of pulling back, saying, no, I need my cameras, and there were bullets everywhere. So I hope Nikon is happy about that. And eventually, I made a run for it. We saw, this is the exact location we were kidnapped. We saw this checkpoint in the distance, and we knew it would provide cover. We all made it behind this building, and we never saw our driver again. We were told to lie face down in the dirt, and it was execution style. We had all seen it in movies, what happens then. And each one of us had an AK, a Kalashnikov to our heads, and we were staring down the barrel of a gun saying, please don't kill us. They decided not to kill us. At that point, a commander came over and said, you can't kill them, they're American. And I thought personally, when has that ever been an advantage in the Middle East? But they decided not to kill us, and instead they pulled my laces out of my shoes, tied my feet together, my arms together, and placed us in vehicles tied up on the front line, and sort of watched us and laughed as bombs and bullets rained around us. They kept us there for hours. They beat us repeatedly over the course of the first 3 days, threatened us with execution. I was groped as the only woman. The men were smashed in the back of the heads with gun butts. And after 6 days, we were transferred to Tripoli and released. And I'll close with a few images of me on assignment. I don't usually dress like this. This is in Fallujah in 2004, and in Iraq in 2003. crossing illegally into Darfur in 2004, in the Korangal Valley in Afghanistan, and in Libya a few days before our capture, and 7 months pregnant in Gaza, and in Afghanistan, and in South Sudan. That's it.
Please join me in welcoming Janet Appleman.
And I looked at the nets, and I'd seen them every day, and I thought, whoa, that's another way to make volumetric form without heavy solid material. And I began working with these fishermen. This was my first satisfying sculpture. I think of it as a self-portrait. The title is Wide Hips. So after 3 years and the birth of both of my children, we raised this 40,000 square foot piece of lace into the air. And what was most exciting to me was that it had lost nothing in translation from that idiosyncratic craft. So this is what I saw when I first arrived, this anonymous street. And this is what you see when you ride up the waterfront in Portugal today, in Porto. And as I walked underneath, and it's attached to these 3 high-rises, and they are all privately owned. So everybody had to work together in order for this to be brought into the city. It's like a physical proof of what we can do when we are in symbiosis, when we are working together. We can do things that seem impossible. And it's a reminder for me of that. This is a part of the city where no one ever would stop. It's kind of, somebody told me that this made them feel safer after the sculpture was there. And like no one ever had lunch there. And you can see between 3 a.m. when the cranes came in and 11 a.m. when this video ends, and people are already having lunch there lying down in the grass. This sculpture from London, it arrived here, it's up for your bash tonight, and so I look forward to seeing you underneath it. Wow, okay.
Through screenwriting that I got into the business in a professional way. However, how I sort of kind of learned filmmaking for, as much as I ever did, right, was I didn't go to film school.
And did you really work in a video school?
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. For 5 years. I wrote all those scripts. Not Reservoir Dogs, but everything else I wrote while I was working at that video store. And, but the thing is, though, what I ended up doing was, instead of, I couldn't go to film school because I didn't have any money to go to film school. I tried to enroll at AFI, I got turned down. And so what happened was, I tried to make a movie. I borrowed a 16mm camera from a guy I barely knew, frankly, and I was going to make a short. And so I worked for a couple of weeks on this short, and then I thought, whoa, hey, Stranger Than Paradise had come out not that long ago, and so I was like, well, I don't know what I can do in the short, but I could do a feature. And so then I worked for 3 years shooting this 16mm feature. Now the feature ended up becoming nothing but guitar picks at the end of the day, but I kind of learned how to make a movie.
You're self-taught.
Yeah, I didn't know, when you look at the stuff that I did in the first part of it, I didn't really know what I was doing. But the stuff 3 years later that I had shot was better. I had kind of learned what I was doing. And I basically only, in the course of those 3 years, maybe put out about $3,000. I mean, I only had a minimum wage job, but that was actually a lot. I did learn a lot about filmmaking, and I did it for a lot cheaper than I would have at a university. I might just be completely out of touch, but anybody here who has watched a movie from beginning to end on their cell phone that maybe wasn't on an airplane, but just like at home? Watch it on your cell phone. Clap your hands. Okay, well, this is 10,000 people. That was actually a weak clapping of hands. Unless I intimidated you, which I'm not trying to. I'm not saying that's the worst thing on the planet Earth. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine sitting down and watching There Will Be Blood, from beginning to end on my cell phone.
Of course, there are no 12-year-olds here either.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, in a weird way, I can imagine watching Frozen on if I was going to watch something like that.
I'm going to give you a word, and you're going to give me one word back.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay, actor.
Artist.
Writer.
King.
Director.
God.
Okay, that's 2 words. Pulp Fiction.
Tom Doe.
Quentin Tarantino.
You can't do that with me.
That's 6 words. 1 word.
Artist.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Quentin Tarantino.
Expect the unexpected. And we really love pushing boundaries at Adobe, and some of this cutting edge stuff might make it into a product. We don't know. And frankly, that's way above my pay grade, and I can't guarantee any of this stuff.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan Peele. Hello. Thank you. Yes, I am on I was on the comedy show Key and Peele, which, if you have a 15-year-old son or daughter, they will be very impressed to hear that you're here today.
So, as a video editor and motion designer, music is a huge influence on my work. I use it not only to evoke emotion and mood, but I also use it as the underlying structure of how I edit. So, I have this project, let's say, it's a surfing competition video. I've laid in my clips, but it just doesn't feel right. Let me show you guys what I mean. So here it is. What you notice is that it's not really synced at all with music. So I really need to redo this so that it's synced in time with the music. So with SyncMaster, our team has been working on a way to show the data that makes up music, and then we visualize it on the timeline. So one of the first things that we've been working on is a revisualization of the waveform. So what you're going to see is that it's split into 3 bands, high, mid, and low. So then in practice, you can now start to almost pick out individual instruments or notes even. So here's a good example. You see the bass come in here. And then underneath we have what we call events, which are represented by the green lines. So this is a new algorithm which finds all the most interesting points in time for you automatically. So now you can start to use these to sync your clips with. Right away you see our waveform is rendered at the bottom and we have our events overlaid on top. And I can tell just by how the waveform looks that there's this intro in the beginning and then there's this big event here that I know I want to sync to. So I can take my clips and I can start to drag and I can start to snap to that event. I can do the same thing with the scale for my logo as well. There we go. And I can even go in here and change some of the properties. Let's change the normalization a little bit. Let's see how that looks.
So next we're going to find out about a new type of image search technology, and Halen is going to come on stage and tell us more about Concept Canvas. Hi Halen.
Hi, thank you Kim. So now I want to show you a new way of doing image search in Photoshop. Remember, I have this sketch from my art director. Wouldn't it be great if I can turn that sketch into something I can search for images? So I know I need the image with the person on the left. So all I need to do is just draw a rectangle in the area of the person and then annotate it with the word person. So now I can issue the search command. I want to point out that what I provided to the search algorithm is only this rectangle and the word person. And our search algorithm found images on Adobe stock matches the requirements. For instance, I want to search an image with a person and an umbrella above it. So in this case, naturally the search results contain images with people holding umbrellas, as you can see. And just one final example, I want to challenge the algorithm by asking it to find the images with a person, an umbrella, and a water background. In this case, the combination of the three concepts limits the number of matching images, yet our search technology still can find plenty of images on Adobe stock matching the requirements.
The magic behind WebBrush is physics. So, as you can see here, we simulate thousands of bristles on the brush. And we simulate the paint liquid as millions of particles. So you can see when the bristle interact with the paint, they actually mix and produce those sharp mixing effects. And it's also generating the 3D surface details as you would have in a actual painting. So
the oil painting like
yeah, and we can also change the lighting. And let's go even easier. That's just to show the surface details. So this is surface without the color. So you can even tell more clearly. Yeah. And so if I use the brush here, what are you doing? You see changing the last work.
Let's load the sky image first. How about this one? So now let's click replace sky and let's see what will happen. Here we are. So we have a new photo with a new sky. Will automatically find the sky photo for you and generate results like that. So this is our real photo, and these are the results shown sequentially.
Yeah.
So you can see that the algorithm trying to find sky photos with very different styles so that at least one of them will be a preference. And with the sky photo changing, the foreground is also adjusted differently to match the style so that the final result looks realistic and interesting.
Well, I have obtained this piece of audio where there's McGoki talking to Peel about his feeling after getting nominated. There's a pretty interesting joke here, so let's just hear it.
But she's a...
Here.
I jumped out of the bed and I kissed my dogs and my wife in that order.
Yeah, so how about we match with who he actually kissed? Well, you may be thinking, okay, we're pretty familiar with Photoshop, but we're not quite used to audio waveforms. How can we do this? Well, I have a good news for you. Introducing Project Vocal. So as you can see, we have the audio waveform above it, and we have the text under it. And when we play back, the text and audio should play back at the same time. So let's try it.
And I kissed my dogs and my wife.
Okay. So let's do something here. Okay. So suppose McGoki wants to send this audio to his wife. So he actually wants his wife to go before the dogs. So okay. So what do we do? Easily copy paste. Let's do it. Copy paste. Oh yeah, it's done. That's good.
And I kissed my wife and my wife.
Oops. Oops. Where are the dogs? Okay, how can we let the dogs out? And just type the word Jordan. And here we go.
And I kissed Jordan and my dogs.
The last magic I'm gonna show you guys is we're not just going to do with words. We can actually type small phrases. So let's say, okay, so we remove those words and we do 3 times. And take back.
And I kissed Jordan 3 times.
It's kind of hard to tell what's happening, actually. We can see that there's motion, but like what the motion is and where it is in the scene, it's kind of hard to interpret. If we want to really see what's going on, we got to put the headset on. Then we got to look around, and if we see something we don't like, we got to take the headset off and go back into Premiere and change it. And then we want to see what the change looks like, we got to put the headset back on. And after you do this for a little while, it gets pretty tiring. So what we really like to do is see if maybe there's a better way to do our video editing inside VR. So what I'm going to show you is something we call Project Clover, which is a VR video editing interface in VR. So like now I understand what my video is all about. Now it's time to like actually start using this interface to edit it in VR. So we've got a little Premiere style timeline interface here, and let's just go back to the beginning. And what we've got here now is another clip. We've set up 2 clips. And in this clip we've got a camera in a parking lot and a car doing donuts around it. So that's pretty cool. And what we're going to have is when it comes back around to the front here, we're going to cut back to that race car video. Okay, so here's the cut that we lined up with our timeline. But what just happened there is a little funny. We were looking at a car doing donuts, right, just a moment before, and as soon as the car cuts over, now we're not really looking at anything. We want to see the action, but the action's happening in the back here. It's this other car that's chasing us. And so this is a problem unique to VR video, where before and after a cut, you might have some action that's important before the cut, and some different action that's important after the cut. And you want them both to be in the same part of the scene, so that your audience doesn't lose what they're looking at. So it's not like they're kind of looking around being like, I wonder what I'm supposed to be looking at right now. And meanwhile, they're missing part of your story that's happening in the background. So we have a tool that we use to fix this problem. We call it the rotational alignment tool. And what you can see here is 2 clips that are being visualized. On the top is the clip after the cut, and on the bottom is the clip before the cut. And I can just go ahead and toggle back and forth between them here. And I can see that they're not aligned, because here's the car I'm looking at before the cut, and what I want to look at is the car in back. So I can actually just go ahead and click and drag here to rotate it. Control's a little funny. There we go. All right, now you can see that they're aligned. Do this all in VR.